In the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
We are live. What's up, guys? Project Freedom Podcast, episode number 44. Going to need you guys to bear with me tonight because I did not sleep at all last night, so I'm going to be sounding like a zombie. But with that being said, I actually have something pretty important to talk about tonight, something that I would like to talk about, something that actually is important to me. And if it's not important to you, it will be very soon. But I mean, knowing you guys, like the people that follow me, you guys kind of think the same way as I do. And there's a lot of obvious ruses that are being exposed in the current timeline, right? I don't think I really need to know or need to say in particular what I'm talking about. I think you guys kind of know, right? You guys know. But what we can talk about tonight, we're going to talk about what is being called, what we're going to call the humanity hard fork. So you guys know anything about the term forking? I guess we could let's talk about a fork in the road, right, guys? So if you're going down a road, it's a single lane, right? You pretty much just have one way to go, right? You can either go forward or backward, right? Pretty simple. And then suddenly out of nowhere, the road just splits into two separate sections. It's called the fork in the road, right? Everyone kind of knows that. What does the term hard fork come from? In, I guess we could just say cryptocurrency in particular, right? Because that's where it comes from, right? In blockchain tech, right? Let's actually ask. I think that's on Stack Overflow. Well, whatever. We can just look at corporatefinanceinstitute.com because apparently that is what gets shown first on Google. But they have it right, though. They have it right. So let's look at this, guys. Let's look at this. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, so what is a hard fork, guys? Blockchain. As you fellas can see here, a hard fork refers to a radical change to the protocols of a blockchain network. In simple terms, a hard fork splits a single cryptocurrency into two and results in the validation of blocks and transactions that were previously invalid and vice versa. So if you guys remember, like when ETH basically had their hard fork, and that's why Ethereum Classic exists today, is because in actuality, Ethereum Classic is the original Ethereum. Obviously, that's why it's called Classic, right? But what had happened was there was some decisions made that some of the development community did not agree with, and they were like, no, we're going to stay the original way. We're not going to change the code. And the other ones were like, we're going to change the code. So you look at this little graph right here. Let's just look at this. Blocks from non-upgraded nodes follow old rules. So if you stay on that same path that we're talking about the road, right? We're talking about the road, not cryptocurrency, not blockchain or anything like that right now. Just talking about the roads. You stay on the same path. There is no fork. You just keep going straight, right? And it's going to be the same original route that road was originally designed for. But then instead of going straight the other way, there is that little fork to the left, okay? And you decide to go that way, newly paved route, right? Obviously, it's going to bring you to a separate destination, or at the very least, let's just say they both end up at the same destination. At the very least, it's going to take you on a separate route there, right? So that's where this term comes from, guys. But what does it have to do with humanity? Because we're not talking about Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Shitoshi's Vision, Bitcoin SV, whatever the fuck one of the like 3,000 different ones are. All right, we're not talking about Ether, ETH Classic. I'm actually talking about a humanitarian hard fork. Okay. And actually, well, let me try to allude to this first, guys. So, I mean, it's starting to get pretty obvious to you guys out there. And if it's not obvious to you, like, just, take a couple seconds to be observant for a little bit. I don't mean that facetiously. I mean that seriously. Like, take a couple seconds to come outside of the small part of the world that you deal with. Because in all honesty, guys, most of us, we're only dealing with our lives, right? We're only dealing with a small section of the world. Not all of us are, I don't know, the Pope, right? So we're not really, and even the Pope. And honestly, guys, the Pope is probably an awful example. The Pope is probably the most contained person in a literal echo chamber in the whole planet. So that was a bad analogy, but anyway, you guys get my point. Just take a second to look around and do some observation, and you guys have probably already noticed that there's kind of like a split in humanity that's taking place. And this has taken place this has started for quite some time, right? Well, man, I don't know. I guess let's say, in actuality, in most modern times, it probably like really started happening around 2010, 2012, but it's been happening since prior to that, right? We had humans previously have a certain way of thinking, believing, doing, seeing, yada yada yada, and now people are starting to kind of go on a different path. All right. And even if they don't actually realize that they're going on a different path, they are. So there's a split in humanity, all right? And no, I'm not talking about into like a split between black and white people. I'm not talking about a split between Democrats or Republicans, because this split, this hard fork, actually transcends all of that. As cheesy as it is to say, it literally transcends all that. Like, it's just above it. All these other problems that are like splits in humanity, if they are even actual splits, they pale in comparison in the amount of size and scope that they are to what they actually are being portrayed as. And this is not. Okay, this hard fork is not. This is the largest hard fork in humanity, and the programming of humanity, at least in our lifetime. Now, it didn't exist, in 1776 or in the medieval times or during the Roman Empire. So I don't really know. All right. But I know, as far as I've been alive, and pretty much anyone I know who has been alive, including people who are like 80 years old, this is the biggest split / divide than anyone's ever seen. And what we're actually seeing, since I have explained that it's not really a split between people of color or this weird binary two-party system, Republican and Democratic, blah, 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 blah. I mean, don't even get me started about that. What I'm talking about, guys, is we are kind of seeing a split of people that A, accept the current narrative being fed to them by, let's just say the NEWS and the quote unquote powers that be, quote, and then the people who are what I would say are independent thinkers. All right. And I really don't say that. When I say that, I really don't mean that facetiously. Because in actuality, my personal opinion is that these people who are not independent thinkers, like you actually, I remember, guys, I said at the beginning of Spartan September, like one of my Spartan September goals was to be nicer to normies. And I got to say, guys, I have absolutely failed that. But I do feel a little bit of like sadness for people who just like don't have that ability to just go from first into second gear of thinking, right? Like they something goes into their head and they just don't even try to process it. They're just like, yeah, orange bad. Yes. Orange bad. Sun is black. Yes. The sun is black. I'm not going to go look at the sun and see if it's a different color than what they're telling me. Or they'll just ignore the fact that the sun is not black when they look at it. And it's actually like a fluorescent, bright spectrum of color. But you have to feel bad for them because you kind of feel, I kind of feel like these people, I mean, I think it's hard for people who have been literally programmed their entire lives to be able to kind of like break that programming. All right. Some people more than others, but essentially, guys, we're talking about a hard fork between people who just believe, and I wouldn't even say all of them. I don't think they all even believe, but they claim to believe in whatever is currently popular, and the other type of people are more of a independent thinking people that, irregardless of whether or not the thought patterns they have or the things that are just becoming obviously apparent to them are quote unquote popular or not, they won't just specifically accept a certain narrative because it's what they're told to accept. Okay. So that's what we're actually talking about. I know I've ignored you guys in the chat. I see y'all talking over there. So give me 1 second and we'll just do that right now. Alex. Hey, ELP brothers. What's up, Alex? Good to see you. Babe Honker, we are live. Yes. Cody Moose in the hoose. What up? Sam says, what up? Christian Soto emoji with the, that's not a Christian Soto emoji, but I guess it kind of is a Christian Soto emoji, right? Because, I mean, you're your avatar Christian. You got the glasses. You got the beard. I guess the emoji is just missing this chin area of the beard. The emoji's got the mustache, glasses, emojis in the chat. Earlian Pontius says based. Thank you. Data fork. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, what in actuality, Alex, what is a blockchain? It's really just like on a very base level, especially if you're talking like about a layer one like Bitcoin. It's really just a giant kind of living and evolving set of records, kind of like a database, right? So yeah. Bring it on. What's up, dude? My technical interview went very well. Thanks, Josh. Dude. Good. I'm glad to hear, man. I'm curious as to what they asked, and I remember that you said they were going to ask you to do pseudocode. How did they present it to you? Let me know. Did they like verbally tell you a problem and then you went and solved it, or what? Is your lighting dark on purpose, by the way? Yep. That's because I've been awake for over 24 hours and you guys know, zombies don't like light, so I have to keep the light very dim. And also, I feel like it would add to the dramatic effect of the stream. So, is it working, guys? Let me know. Sam says, we are all people of color. The color orange. Yes, indeed, baby. Oh, yeah. Split between plugged in people and unplugged people. Yep. T-Man Scott gets it. Cody says, there's no way to save them, unfortunately. Save you can and read last rites to the dying. Yeah, man. Yeah, because, like, Cody, what's the saddest part, Cody, is that you can't force someone to take the Crimson Capsule or the orange pill, right? They have to see these things for themselves, and they have to either see it or they have to feel it. They have to feel it and experience it to accept it, right? And then even after you see it and feel it, that acceptance part is actually one of the hardest things for some people. For some people, that's the easiest part because it's like you feel like you have this huge weight lifted off your chest. But a lot of people, like, it's really hard for them to accept something to accept the fact that pretty much like what they know is a lie, because it brings upon an identity crisis on a person. All right, it brings upon an identity crisis. Because let's just say that person had their whole life invested into this way of thinking, and then, or at least having that be a part of who they are, a large part of it, right? And then then they're like, it is just undeniably obvious that this is a lie. So I'm just duping myself if I continue to follow this or to believe these things. It can be painful to some people, right? So yeah, you do have to feel sorry for them, but you can't just do it. You can't just like shove it down their throat, right? That's not how those things work. And then, everybody that knows, everybody that's my followers who were here from the TRP community, you didn't just like get to that community originally because you were just like, I want to figure out how men and women are different. You most likely got there through some sort of trauma, right? Paula says, hello, I am H3R3 enjoying tool. Perhaps we should go for a walk. Wait, you're here? Huh? Are you serious? Did you text me? I see a text, but I don't see anything about you being here. Alex says Mac files are source fork and a data fork. I'm confused at what you're asking there. Alex, could you clarify precisely what you mean by that? Sam says I am also H3R3 enjoying tool. Oh, guys. Should you join you? Yes. Sam saying yes, sticker. Yes. Yes, friends. But in all honesty, guys, like, let me, instead of me explaining this to you guys, and keep in mind, guys, like, a lot of this is stuff that not my new followers, but maybe if you are a new follower, you probably already know. Look, at this point, guys, almost everybody who is a free thinking individual is very, very, very aware of this. But instead of me trying to explain this to you guys, I want to share a video with you guys of a guy whose channel is named Trader University. Okay. And I would just regurgitate to you guys what he is saying. But he the way that he explains it is better than I could, to be honest with you guys. And I find it funny and kind of amazing how, because it's not just him, right? He's not, this guy isn't the only content creator out there who is saying these things in this way. I just think it's really funny how, people from all across the globe are literally all coming to the same kind of conclusion, even with the lack of real, quote unquote, real support or data. And everyone's just kind of coming to the same, if not a very similar conclusion. Okay. Now I'm going to preface this, guys, by warning you guys that this guy is a maxi. So you have to take some of the things that he says with a grain of salt. But if you don't like it, yeah, I don't know. Don't want to tell you, fellas. So let me share this with you guys. Let's listen to what Mr. Matthew Cratter has to say.
From Trader University. And today I want to talk about the end game that is rapidly approaching, what I'm calling humanity's hard fork. I think this is going to be one of the most important videos that I've ever published. So I'd encourage you to really watch it all the way to the end and also to respond in the comments below. So what I'm talking about is a hard fork that's coming, a split that's coming in humanity. And it's not going to be along the traditional lines. A lot of people are still playing the old blue team versus red team, the lowest form of politics, which is two-party politics. They think the source of all evil is Republicans or Democrats, or they may be fighting one of the other polarities, black versus white, or white versus Asian, or straight versus LGBTQ, one of these traditional fights that we're encouraged to participate in, that we're encouraged to take a side in. But I think what's happening is actually much more fundamental than that. We're actually having a hard fork in humanity that's going to transcend racial, gender, political, traditional battle lines. And it's basically, I think we're in the process of humanity splitting into two tribes. And this applies no matter where you live in the world. There's going to be what I'm calling, for the lack of a kinder term, the sheeple tribe, and then the tribe of real human beings. And again, this transcends traditional political party lines. So if you think that one of these is a code word for Democrats or Republicans, you're really misunderstanding this video. We're talking about sheeple versus people. Now, on the sheeple side, this new tribe is going to be those people that really only have like a 2-week memory for the news cycle. They immediately follow the latest government or big media, mainstream media marching orders, and then they go out and they shame their family and friends if those people do not. They're mainly driven by virtue signaling. They don't really have core beliefs. And what they believe now is extremely different from 20 years ago. And it always aligns with what's currently popular. They haven't really thought through.
So that part, what he just said, guys, is kind of important because, the part that he said that what they believe now contradicts what they believed 20 years ago. Okay. And it's also important to note, I think I said it and then he said it twice. This has nothing to do with Democrat versus Republican, right? Because what do the people who are quote unquote liberal, they associate as being a what? Democrat, right? Are a lot of that and if you guys look at that, the Democrat Party, are really any of their policies anymore quote unquote liberal? Not really, right? If you think about it, not really. Were they 20 years ago? Yeah, somewhat. It's kind of like those two parties switched, right? So that's important to note.
Things from the standpoint of first principles. Though also, these are the people who cut off old friends and family members because of something they think is happening in Washington, D.C., or at the level of national politics. They also are the people who really naively believe that the government, whether it's the U.S. government or various EU governments actually want to do what's best for them. And here's the
We'll stop there too real quick because I have to talk about that. Like, guys, if you are existing in the year 2021 and you think that the GOVERMENT really wants what's best for you, I really don't know what to say. I really don't. If you actually think that, like, if you actually think that the things that they're doing, have done, will do, are best for you as a person, because you just happen to think that they love you more than you love yourself, then I don't know. I really don't. I feel infinitely sorry for you, because you may have a lack of self-respect, in all honesty. All right. In order to prove that these people, these organizations, these companies that are doing X, Y, and Z don't want what's best for you, it's really simple. You just got to look at what they're doing, and then you need to say, how is this going to affect me? How is this going to affect my children, my potential children, my family? Is it gonna better their lives or worsen their lives? And 99.99% of the time, you'll come to the conclusion that it won't do anything for you except maybe take from you. All right.
Final one that I think is really where this split, where this hard fork is going to happen. These people, the sheeple, are willing to submit to a social credit system and to give up all of their personal data in order to submit to this. So that's the sheeple side of things. That's the tribe. That's one of the tribes that's forming. The other tribe that's forming, I'll just call human beings. I couldn't come up with a wittier version of this, but I do think that this is how humans are meant to live.
Oh no!
This is how we live. For
humans are meant to think. Oh no!
History. We supported the local over the national. We never disowned family members over something that was happening 3,000 miles away that we didn't even really know was happening, that we just saw on the TV or internet. So
yeah, I got to stop there too real quick, guys. Like the people that he's referring to that have the inability to, what we're going to refer to as the ability to think for yourself, for them to discard family members, loved ones, friends, because of something that they're just told has happened or is happening, instead of something that they came to a conclusion through their own personal thinking, it really shows you the true allegiance that they have, and not even allegiance. It really shows you their character, right?
Human beings will support the local over the national. And of course, localism is sort of a catchphrase for this. Human beings, this new tribe, will prefer and will always try to choose decentralization over centralization. So rather than fighting over who gets to control Washington, D.C., they'll be looking for ways to cut Washington, D.C. out of the picture, or cut Brussels out of the picture, or cut Beijing out of the picture. Preferring decentralization means, one way of expressing it is the traditional view of American state rights. And you have these 50 states that can push back against federal powers. Another form of decentralization that we're very lucky to have is Bitcoin, which is truly decentralized money. It's not money that can be co-opted or controlled like something like Cardano or Ethereum.
All right, don't freak out, guys.
Digital currencies.
Don't freak out because he said that. Calm down. It's okay.
Human beings also are trying to reduce dependency on big companies for their livelihood, for their source of income, for their food, for their groceries, for the products that they buy as well. Maybe they support more local businesses. They try to use a local coffee chain or a local coffee shop over an international coffee chain. These are small examples. Also, this new tribe of human beings, one side of the fork, try to think in terms of decades and centuries. They understand monetary history. They understand political history. They understand the history of their country. They understand short-term debt cycles and long-term debt cycles and the fourth turning and things like this that I've talked about in numerous videos. So they think in terms of decades and centuries. They are low time preference human beings rather than high time preference human beings who just say, give it to me now. They think in terms of the long term, not 2-week news cycles. And then I think the most important part of this tribe, which is emerging, is these are people who are unwilling to submit to a government social credit system, whether this is enforced by the Chinese Communist Party or by big tech. Everyone knows how China is using social credit scores to encourage certain kinds of behavior.
Yikes.
And these scores are real. You actually, for example, under Sesame Credit, you get a score based on what you buy and who you associate with and how you behave, etc. So we have this happening in China. This was my favorite meme about it, Mao versus Lamau, 5 points deducted from my Chinese social credit score. I think my personal Chinese social credit score would be fairly low. I have criticized the CCP, not the Chinese people, but the CCP in numerous videos. What people don't see is that this is happening, obviously, in the US and other Western countries as well. We all know about deplatforming, whether it's from Twitter or Facebook or even YouTube. We know that what we
You be patient, Aurelian. He's about to talk about it.
Really are spy devices. And Apple has really recently begun to change its privacy policies.
There you go, Aurelian. You'd be happy now
that it cares a lot less about preserving your privacy. But I think people underestimate how far this evolving system of social credit really has gone. There's a company called PatronScan, which collects data and tells restaurants and bars whether you're a good or bad person. Maybe this is just used to keep disruptive drunks out of certain restaurants and bars, but it could also be used to discriminate on the basis of political or ideological beliefs quite easily. This is already happening in New York State. New York insurers can increase or decrease your premiums or your coverage based on what they see in your social media. So if you're talking about something that's not currently accepted, you might not be able to get insurance, or you might have to pay a lot more for your insurance. Then we have all these big companies. I won't even bother talking about the FANG companies because everyone knows if you get deplatformed from Google or Facebook or Twitter, it's pretty much over. But you can think about this extends to companies like Airbnb. If for some reason Airbnb decides they don't like you, it really reduces your choice and where you can stay when you're traveling.
By the way, guys, while he's talking about FANG companies, you guys hear that the Facebook CTO stepped down, resigned from his position today? Now, why? What? You see, I just can't help but to think and ponder, why would someone with such a great title at such a great company just want to give up their position with such great pay and benefits, by the way, for no real reason? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out, guys.
Traveling. Likewise, Uber, if Uber decides for whatever reason they don't like you. Again, the discrimination employed by these companies now is fairly benign, but it's very easy for it to take a sharp left turn overnight and begin to discriminate against people just based on their ideologies. So the hard fork is here. It's not Democrats versus Republicans. It's not one race versus another. It's not even, I would say, something like capitalism versus socialism, because what we're evolving towards in the US is a form of free market capitalism with Big Brother watching everything. And we haven't had real capitalism or free markets in the US really since before 1913, when the Federal Reserve was founded. If you can manipulate the money, if you can manipulate interest rates, you don't have a free market in the price of money. But the hard fork really is now and is here, and it's made possible by big tech. And so I think everyone really needs to think very long and hard about this. Which tribe are you going to be part of? And this is a gradual process. You may still keep one foot in one camp and one foot in another. But I think that this is a hard fork. And the further you go down one side of the fork, the more difficult it is to ever return. And this is a choice that you're not just making for yourself, but for your children and grandchildren. So the first tribe is those who accept the Great Reset that is.
Hold on, guys. Pay attention to this part, okay? You guys have paid close attention to this part, all right? And also, I'd like to note on what he said earlier, like, it's true. This is a hard fork that most people will teeter the line on, but as time has grown, they've gone further in one direction. And in all honesty, whether or not you want to accept this or not, and this goes for you guys too, like, the further you go down one direction, the harder it's going to be to go back to the other direction. And you should know that prior to the decisions and the choices that you guys make in the next couple of months, weeks, months, actually seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years to come. Okay, guys? No matter what way you go, okay? Or, because, I mean, not going to say that, you know, one of the fork paths is better than other. I think you guys know what I feel about that, but yeah.
And grandchildren. So the first tribe is those who accept the Great Reset that is currently taking place and are willing to go along with everything that they're told by the government, by the mainstream media, or by their own special, the channels that they watch, and are willing to submit to a social credit score that's used to control them. These are the people who haven't taken the time or will not take the time to understand a currency like Bitcoin, and they'll just be very happy to continue to store their wealth in dollars and other fiat currencies, especially in the form of central bank digital currencies, which will be used, and make no mistake about this, will be used to track every single penny that you earn and every single penny that you spend, and will be used to enforce a social score. So if maybe you buy a beef hamburger when that's not acceptable anymore, you lose 10 points on your social score.
He's right about that.
CBDCs will also be used to automatically tax people. The money will just be taken out of your wallet, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So maybe you have to pay a bad person tax because you voted for a certain candidate or you have certain beliefs. So that is the first tribe. That's
make no mistake, guys.
Those who are willing to submit to this new system. And then you have the second tribe, which I really would count myself as part of, those who are increasingly looking to opt out, who are trying to rely more on local businesses, on localism, on growing their own food, looking for their own water sources, these sort of things. And it doesn't have to be binary. You can start to slowly go down this path. But this is the path of leading an anti-fragile life, where you cannot be deplatformed from your job and social media overnight and then starve to death. This is the tribe that's not dependent on the good graces of whether the government currently likes you or big tech companies currently like you. And again, I understand the irony of putting a video like this up on YouTube. The irony is not lost on me, but it is good to use the communication channels that we still have. This second tribe obviously stores their wealth in Bitcoin, not an ESG-approved currency like Ethereum that can be co-opted,
don't freak out,
not central bank digital currencies, but in something that cannot be.
Don't freak out, guys. All right, don't look. Shh. It's gonna be okay. All right, don't freak out because he said something about Ethereum. All right, not trying to get you guys to be a maxi or to take that away from this video. Because if you remove that part of it. The rest of it is way too important to ignore. Okay. But what he's talking about right here, what tribe are you going to be a part of? Because this is an inevitable hard fork, guys. It's already begun. Like I said earlier, it's begun a while ago. All right. What tribe are you going to be a part of? The number one option on this list right here, those who accept the GREAT space RESET and are willing to go along with everything and submit to whatever they're told. Now, you have to ask, so the reason why, and again, I won't make this personal decision for you guys because this is a decision for everyone to make on their own, right? Except for maybe this first tribe here. It seems like they don't like to make decisions on their own. But anyway, besides the point, that's like the analogy I would use for that is like if you are let's just whatever age you are right now. Let's just say you're no longer that age. Imagine yourself no longer the age you currently are. So imagine yourself, I don't know, the age you're turned back to the age of 12. All right. For all you know, you're virtually like helpless, right? Like you can't really help yourself much other than, the basic things that a 12-year-old can do, right? Most of them can't even reach the top cabinet shelf. And because of the physical reality that they live in, right? They're the three-dimensional world that you live in, right? And we could just consider the laws of physics to kind of just be like rules. They're actually called laws, which not in actuality, guys, not all laws of physics are actually scientific laws. But anyway, that's a different topic, the scientific topic. But they are called laws, right? So you're kind of like, you're kind of bound based off of some laws and or rules that you have, right? So you're limited at what you can do in order to protect yourself or, fend for yourself. And, you as that 12-year-old kid, so let's just say some bully who's twice or even 3 times your age just comes and like picks you up, throws you in a car, brings you to like, I don't know, a random undisclosed location, blindfolds you and just beats you up. All right, they just beat you up. And then they start just, doing horrific things to you. Okay? Pretty much everything they're doing to you hurts. It hurts you physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. And every time they do these things to you, they tell you it's because it's for your own good. Like I know it seems like these things that we're doing to you, we know that they're hurting you physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, whatever, metaphysically. But you see, the reason we're doing these things is because, we have these rules that you need to obey. It seems like every day they start to add some kind of new rule that you're just expected to just, I don't know, obey without thinking, right? Without thinking, why am I listening to essentially a predator who is harming me? And that would be the equivalent of that situation. And you, just as the person, you just choose to, let's just say, not take your blindfold off and walk right out the front door that's right there and available for you to walk out the front door whenever they leave and go to work or whatever it is that they do during the day. Does that seem like something that you should logically do? Just not leave, to just continue to tolerate a predator doing abusive things to you? I don't know. I don't think so, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a lowly guava farmer.
Be controlled by anyone, which is Bitcoin. So what are the steps you can take to be part of the tribe of human beings and exit the tribe of sheeple? This could be a gradual process. You can take baby steps. Some of the things that I've been thinking about: start growing some of your own food. Think about where you would get water, electricity, natural gas, propane, etc. if your utilities were to go out for an extended period of time, whether due to some war, EMP attack, or whether maybe just people in power decide you're a bad person, and because you didn't do a certain action, you don't deserve to have utilities. Also, start relying
Better
less
be a good boy.
on police and the legal system to protect yourself. What I would refer to ambiguously as decentralized defense systems.
Decentralized defense tools.
And then, of course, start buying some Bitcoin if you haven't done that already. Learn how to self-custody it. Learn how to hold it on a hardware wallet. Learn how to hold it using multi-sig, so no one can freeze your bank account and no one can stop you from earning income that's paid in Bitcoin. Some other obvious things that just off the top of my head: consider looking into VPNs. If you have your favorite VPN that you like to share that's actually reliable, you can use.
I don't know about Nord anymore,
IP
guys.
Currently stated in Airbnb. So
to be honest with you, but
you want with that. So consider a VPN. Consider, again, I'm not doing this in my videos. Consider using a Tor browser, downloading that, and learning how to use it.
Don't go to the real internet.
System is also DuckDuckGo is a great search engine that doesn't betray your privacy as much.
Don't go to the real internet, guys.
Search engine.
Don't do it. Don't think.
Search engine does.
Don't.
I've started uploading my videos in parallel to this site called Odyssey. You might want to check them out there. Preserve this, make a copy of this link.
Subscribe to this guy's channel if you guys like to hear
these get posted
things like this.
I
don't associate it with him in any way, shape, or form. But
this is an interesting site to mirror, just in case some of my videos begin to disappear for some reason. Also consider subscribing to the Trader University email list. This would be one way I could stay in contact with all of you if for some reason my stay at YouTube came to an end. I'm especially interested in whatever suggestions you guys have for how to begin to lead a decentralized life, especially in the area of tech. I'm not super tech savvy, though probably more tech savvy than the average person, more of a finance guy. The thing I'm most interested in right now is thinking, maybe not for the present, but thinking forward, how would one replace the smartphone in my pocket, the iPhone?
There you go, William.
How would I replace the functionality and retain a lot more privacy in terms of being able to use maps, travel, texting? Obviously, we've talked about various texting programs that use the Lightning Network. I really want to move my life as much as I can onto the Bitcoin blockchain, onto the level 2 and level 3 solutions and the decentralized apps that are being built on top of that. So if any of you are more tech savvy, you have ideas how to create backups, basically. I still love a lot of what.
Boy. I really loved the part where he said he really wants to put as much of his life on the Bitcoin network as possible. Goddamn, I was sleepy before I heard him say that, but now I feel revived, guys. Now I feel revived. I would also like to put as much of my life as I possibly can on the Bitcoin network. But yes, guys, like, listen, I know you don't freak out because he's a maxi. All right. Don't freak out because he's a maxi. All right. Just don't take away from it what you can out of that. All right. And think about what he said, guys. Think about what he said. And this is all stuff that you guys, my followers, you guys already know inherently. And if you don't know it, you feel it. And you've been feeling it for quite some time. All right. Andrew K says, correct a fool and he'll hate you. Correct a wise man and he'll thank you. Yep. Bring it on. I gotta skip that comment, Fred. I gotta skip that comment. Forget 20 years. It's now 20 minutes. Yeah, man. Yeah. Transcend humanity. Max Dignitas, indeed. Return to monk. Reject humanity. Is that a monkey emoji? Is that a great ape? Oh, it's an orangutan. I see. And this is a gorilla. Yes, Clay Buster. Here, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Thank you, my friend. They identify as unsolicited saviors. Thank you, Max. Mm-hmm. Kudamoose says we're all Maxis on the inside. Yep. Or you were before, and you're not now, but you will be. After all the hype is over with. That's just how it is, guys. It's fun to play the game while the game is interesting, though, isn't it? Uses here, Arlen. Look, I was talking to you. I hope you heard me. Uses OSX. Claims to be a human being. Whew, lad. Yeah, man. This is part of the part that he was talking about where you teeter in and out, and you might have 1 foot down one path of the fork and 1 foot than the other. I also deal with this too. A lot of the solutions that are currently available to completely go that self-reliant, decentralized route are not optimal yet, right? So, like, and I'm willing to bet my FUCKING left in UT that, look, guys, the legacy tech is legacy code now. All right. Always has been. Not really, but the reason that a lot of things are available as opposed to other things is simply because prior to a lot of the options we have now, there was no competition because competition wasn't allowed because everything was so centralized. All right. And now that we already have a perfect form of value exchange, several of them, not all of them are perfect. Let's just be honest with you guys. Look, only one of them really is perfect. Perfect. In all honesty, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't care. I don't hate you. I still love you. That wasn't possible, but it is now. And when these legacy corporations, which, by the way, we talked about on previous streams, like a lot of those things, pretty much almost everything, I'm starting to realize that is the way that it is now, as far as like a structure of a system, is unnecessary. And it's actually like not beneficial to most people when you think about it. It's just kind of one of those things that, back to our analogy of when you're letting a predator take advantage of you, and you're just kind of allowing it. It's like that. Penguin master race. Quote like Cardano, quote the cap. Yeah. I mean, look, like, I got nothing against Charles. I got nothing against the Cardano technology itself, but like if we're just being honest here, like if we're just being honest, okay, if we're actually just being honest with ourselves and reality, and and in order to do this, you have to actually do everything that we talked about prior to in the beginning of the stream. And that's just getting to that second gear of thinking and like, you know, make the judgment based off of your own observations, right? Cardano is not really quote unquote decentralized. Like they could shut it down with like a few phone calls, right? Does that mean that it can't be in the future? No, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean that it has no use or new purpose? No. But Cardano is definitely way more decentralized than Ethereum. Sorry, way more centralized than Ethereum. And then if we're also being honest here too, and obviously guys, you know, my MMORPG video game character, has Ethereum, you know, likes Ethereum, likes to develop things on the Ethereum network. Ethereum is way more centralized than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not centralized at all anymore because of that kind of immaculate inception that it had, right? And I don't care if you don't agree with me, if you think Bitcoin's awful or bad or old tech, if you just want to completely ignore, the layer one foundation that it has, a foundation of literal solid ground, and layer two and a layer three, which pretty much no one even really knows about. Then that's fine. Like again, guys, I'm not here to convert you to maximalism. All right. But I will say though, I will note this though. I think there is a difference between what I call boomer maximalism and just accepting facts for what they are, right? Like a boomer maximalist, and this guy that I'm about to talk about, I would literally pay $1 million to just hang out with this guy for a day, right? Literally. But he is a boomer. He is a boomer maximalist. Max Kaiser. I would give anything to just like, I don't know, go out to eat with that guy and just listen to him talk. But he's wrong about a lot of things. I mean, Ethereum isn't an exit scheme. It's not a shit coin. It has an actual use case. There's actual applications on it. There's actual entities using it. But like it certainly is not. It certainly is not a completely uncorruptible, completely uncensorable, because, you know, Ethereum, if we go back to Project Freedom podcast, like episode somewhere between 1 to 5, we did the analysis on, is Ethereum truly decentralized? And I guys remember, I came to the conclusion that it's not. It's more decentralized than people that are maxis are portraying it as, but it's not as decentralized as Bitcoin. All right. And that's just a literal fact. And if you just want to ignore that, then you might as well just put yourself in the camp of people that orange bad, right? I'm just saying, don't have to get all up in arms about it. You don't have to come and like fight me because I don't think whatever. And I don't care what you guys want to do anyway, because it's, you know, what I'm more so concerned about, you guys, is taking away everything else from that video. All right. Everything else from what Mr. Matthew Crowder was saying, because that is what's actually important here. Okay. Cody Moose, penguin emoji. T-Man Scott, I guess he's a maxi, but still pretty based. Yeah, exactly. Literally what we were just talking about. Bringing on says real Chads use Arch plus WM. Sus. What is sus, mate? Clarify, please. Or just text me and tell me. I just want my farm, man. Leave me alone. Yep. This guy gets it. Same. Yep. I suppose universal income. Yeah. Well, I mean, we already know that who's that mayor who's up there doing that is trying to give away $500 a month to 5,000 families in whatever city. Where's that money coming from? We're having a money crisis, which if we're all honest to ourselves, money, is it even real? Is money even real? Having a money crisis, and they want to take the money's coming from the federal government, right? But the federal government is having a money crisis. Like, what? That's like saying you are a drug addict or an alcoholic or like a gambling addict, and you can't afford to pay. Like next month, you don't really know if you're going to be able to afford to pay your rent or food, and you're just going to go and buy more booze or more drugs or go gambling, right? At least with the gambling part, like them doing this, there's no potential benefit that they're going to get out of it. At least with the gambling part, you're taking a risk that you might get a return on the amount of input that you gambled, right? Taken out of your wallet, yeah, right? If you can't touch it and you can't control it, you can't move it, you can't decide what to do with it, no matter what it is in life, but it's just told to you that it's yours. Is it really yours? Is it really yours, though? Nord is a honeypot. Yep. I have to agree nowadays. I really don't know about Nord anymore, my friend. Like, and Alex asks, alternative to Nord. I mean, guys, look. Listen, guys. If you are plugged in to the internet, no matter if you're using Mac or Windows or any of the quadrillion different flavors of Linux, even if it's the super hardcore X9022 that was specifically designed to keep Mr. Zuck out of your information, they can get it if they want to. Okay, this is not conspiracy theory. This is just a fact. We've known this since 2007. All right. Thanks to Mr. EDWARD SNOWDEN. God forbid I say his name on stream. But most likely it's been going on since before that. And since then, who knows what capabilities they have. And, so it's just like until that fork is completely done with, I mean, just don't even worry about it. In all honesty, I wouldn't worry too much about it, guys. Usually VPN not in the Five Eyes. Yep. Just don't use smartphones, in my opinion. Yep. Don't use phones, period. Not with telecom, not with the current telecom service providers. I mean, obviously we have to, right, guys? But TorGuard to build your own VPN. Thank you, Jordan. Sam says yes. Jordan says 100% control. Alex says move to the rebel base. Paula says W4LKDOG3S. Yeah, I need to do that literally right now. Don't know, Josh. I'm literally shaking right now. Matt W. Josh, what is up, Matt? Mark Coleman says make it to the Citadel, gents. Yep. Max Ignitas says, I'm moving my entire portfolio in cappuccino stablecoins. Guys, do you want to see what the cappuccino stablecoin is? Would you guys like to see this? I thought this was hilarious. And you know what? You know what? I'm gonna get me my MMORPG character in a video game. He's gonna get some of these tonight, just because he wants to. Okay, guys, check this out right here. Hold on, let me enlarge it for you guys so I can read it to you. Cappuccino. The cappuccino stablecoin is pegged to the price of a New York cappuccino. Blockchain program is cappuccino machine. Fellow blockchain traveler, you've entered a coffee house in which you can deposit your Solana tokens into cup of coffee. New vaults here. Now there's some I believe, I suspect, guys, that whoever wrote this, English is not their first language. But anyway, at the depositing Solana, you'll be able to see it shining inside cup. In return, you'll be able to borrow cappuccino stablecoins. Cappuccino stablecoin are pegged not to a price of any fiat currency, but the price of a cappuccino in New York from Numbro API. So this is trustless stablecoin, which warranties you will be able to buy cappuccino coffee, a proof of coffee and milk. Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. This is funny. And that's actually, I'm gonna put this link for you guys in the chat. No, I swear to God, I'm not associated with the cappuccino Solana based program. All right, protocol. But I think it's funny because, like, what about a stablecoin? All right, a stablecoin, okay, is linked to a dollar, right? Whether it's backed by a dollar and or collateralized from something else to be backed by a dollar. All right. But what happens to the dollars? We know, does dollar value go up or value go down? Now, what happens to a cappuccino? Well, when the good old inflating machine inflates, the cappuccino prices go up. So theoretically speaking, like if you were one who wanted to, let me wake up a little bit here, guys. Let's do that. If you were an individual who wanted to always make sure you're gonna be able to enjoy a cappuccino and not have your cappuccino fund be drained, it might not be a bad idea, right? Babe Bunker says, wait, is this webcam or camera? This is the webcam. I just had it turned really low because I've been awake for 24 hours and I feel like a fucking zombie. So I'm trying to exist in the dark, dark abyss, like my heart, guys, like my heart. Monero Chads, rise up. Actually, just kidding. Don't rise up, guys. That's very bad. Very bad. Don't ever do anything with Monero. It's very bad. All right, you're gonna get 25 good boy tokens deducted from your wallet for disobeying your life smart contract. All right, if you use Monero, so definitely don't do that. Right. Antonio says they have clips of the SEC admitting that ETH is security. I don't know why they gave them the green light as a currency. Look, dude, look. Oh, I got to hit my leg here. First of all, I think that who else has been telling you guys this was going to happen? Not just me. John from Modern Like Dating, Charlie from Cultivate Crypto, all right? They told you guys they're going to release the FUD. They're based off of and other people too, based off of information, they're going to try to, right? And let's just be honest here. The SEC is a great, amazing, stunning, and brave organization, and they definitely care about what is best for everybody. And so, they definitely care for everybody, and so, that's why, Antonio. That answers your question, right? Wink. Claybuster says, since the 1980s, everything on the internet has been captured. They built petabyte storage centers for nothing. This includes all cell phones since VoIP, or voice over IP, for you guys who don't know what that is, including game console chat. Yeah, guys. And the thing is, guys, when I was telling you guys, when I was talking to Aurelia in particular, is that Aurelia, and I've already told you this 1,000 times. All right. For my engineers out there, for my software developers, you guys ever selected from a table that has 10 million records in it? Even if you had a filter in the where clause, several of them. Does it run every time you select it? probably unless it's an extremely powerful machine, probably not, and probably breaks before executing that query, right? So now take that 10 million records, all right, and then take the amount of things that you have to take that 10 million records and multiply it by another 10 million, all right, whatever that number is. It's actually the number, whatever. I don't even know what number that is. If it's like quadrillion, it's actually probably higher than that number that I'm saying. And then take the amount of things to filter and then also multiply that by 10 million. And then like think about being able to like sort through that, right? It's very hard. It's not that it's impossible. It's very hard. So it's like, you know, it's just kind of dumb for them to even like waste that much energy. But hey, guys, don't we have? Yeah, why are you wasting? Why would they waste so much energy? Don't we want to be very green and environmentally friendly? Wait, hold on a second. Let me think. Hold on. This is really hard to think about. Hey, wait a second. Don't they also those same people also fly personal jet planes on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day? Hold on a second. 1 + 1 equals. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Maybe if I knock on my head, 1 + 1 equals 7. Of course. Let's continue. Babe Hunker, wait, is my camera broken or you just haven't gotten the cable? No, the camera's fine. Can you not tell? Camera's fine. I just have the light turned down because I've literally been awake for over 24 hours. The SEC is so diverse. Yeah, bro. They are brave and stunning. So yes, friends and foes alike, everyone, not financial advice, but I would suggest that you all go put your entire portfolios into Cappuccino stablecoin on the Solana network. Of course, not your actual portfolio, your MMORPG's character in a video game, because we would never, ever do anything like that in real life, of course. But guys, listen, guys. Listen. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and expect anything in between. All right? But I got to tell you guys, seriously, look, if you are or have been a person who's been living a life that is not individually sovereign, at least in 10% of your life, all right, you are behind. Okay. And that 10%, in my mind, it should be at least 60% by now, with the ability to go to a full 90 with the snap of fingers. But most people just really, unless they've been trying very hard, have the inability to do that. All right. It doesn't mean you do have the inability, but unless they've been trying very hard, they can't just snap their fingers and be more sovereign. So you guys need to think about that. All right. Like, do you want to be that 12-year-old kid that's just obeying the rules that are being given to them, even if those rules don't help, only hurt, cause, and inflict damage? Do you want to be that kid? No. You want to have self-respect, guys. You literally want to have self-respect. So if you're not learning, if you don't have a skill that you can use to acquire you income independent of a company or a large organization, if you don't know how to do basic things. And this is going to sound really cheesy, guys. This is going to sound really cheesy, but I'm serious about this. All right. Because to me, I'm from Louisiana. So this is preposterous for me to think about someone not being able to do this. But if you don't have the ability to bait a hook, and yes, I mean a fishing hook. If you don't have the ability to do that, go to YouTube right now. Go to Walmart, buy the $15.99 special fishing pole that I bought in college, right? And just go to a pond and like cast some line and just see, all right? If you're doing freshwater fishing, we turned to eat, lift, fish now. If you're doing freshwater fishing, you would just like get you a tequila sunrise worm, synthetic worm, put it on, just literally just hook it on there. Just get a worm, guys, hook it on there and just toss it in the water and just reel it in. If a bass will probably hit it and probably relatively easy. And you'll see like, wow, catching my own food is really easy. All right. If you're not doing something every day to be conducive of independent thought, you're going to be behind. Okay. So do what you guys got to do to get it done. All right. Whatever the fuck that is, get it done now, guys. Seriously, get it done now, because the time. Look, listen, guys, listen. Time, even before any of this stuff would happen is the way that it is. Time is precious to each and every single one of us. Okay. And so is your if you care about yourself, your life is precious too. All right. And if you don't, you should. All right. And once you burn that time, you can't make up for it. Okay. You can't. That's why it really irks me when people like Pro Coolings Incorporated in Miami, Florida, continuously tells me that they're going to fix my air conditioning and doesn't, and then proceeds to come here today to install it and not install it. Just leaves the thing open, and the guy went to his truck and sat and ate a Subway sandwich, I guess, for 4 hours. But anyway, who cares about what I'm saying? Amazon FBA is my other biz. Good. Fishing greater than hunting. Good. Thank you. Well, hunting sucks. TBH, it's like having no game, looks for money, and waiting in one spot all day to get a girl to do anything. I guess if you're hunting deer, pheasants and ducks are a little bit more fun than that, I would say. But it's great skill also. Yeah, and it's the same thing too, Matt. Like cleaning a fish and cleaning a fucking deer or even a duck is a way harder to do than cleaning a fish. So like, and plus you could probably, your ROI for fishing is much better. I would say in my opinion. All right. And if you guys do not have a current skill set for something that can make you money independently of a corporation that wants to, what kind of phallic-like object do I have? All right. That wants to force things inside of you that you just don't want to, then find one. You can go here if you want. Our next course comes out October 3rd, or literally go get your HVAC. You could probably do a better job than the people that were supposed to fix my AC because they're mentally insolvent. And most people are these days, but I just don't have expectations for people anymore. Or you could learn literally any skill that no matter what you do or where you are, someone's going to need you, right? I won't be specific about it here. I mean, we've named the two biggest ones, like repairing things, learning how to program, coding, programming, software development. All right. Those are the two biggest things I can think of at the top of my head. All right. But other than that, yeah. You guys know it. learn to get your own business, make an LLC. If an LLC even going to be a thing anymore, because I don't even know if rules even exist anymore. Who knows anymore, guys? Does anyone know? Can anyone tell me? I don't know, guys. But if you guys have enjoyed tonight's stream, because I have been awake for over 24 hours because I love myself and I wanted to get the stream done no matter what, but also because I love you guys. All right. I do. You guys give me joy. Pro Coolings has to become a meme. Yep. Guys, it sure would be a shame. It sure would be a shame if Pro Coolings 4-star Google. I don't even know how the fuck they have a 4-star Google rating. Like you have got like there's no I really don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased because I'm happen to have maybe been the only person that they've dicked around for 3.5 weeks for. Which just seems asinine to me. I don't know. Speaking to everyone else I've talked to in my building, it seems to be that their similar issues are resolved in one day. But who knows? It sure would be a shame if their 4-star fake Google rating dropped to anything below 4 stars, and that if people went on their page and just give them a 1-star review and just type the word orange, sure would be a shame. But hey, but if you guys have enjoyed the stream and you're not subscribed, please indeed subscribe. A like would be nice too. And if you guys have a comment that you guys want me to talk about in a future stream, go ahead. Submit a comment. I will see if it is good. Talk about it. That's it for me, guys. I am out, and I love you all.